Thanks, Greg. These two sides started the NPC First Division race 3 months ago here at Eden Park, and so it's appropriate, I guess, that they should come back to this ground for the final. Auckland against Wellington, very much a traditional rivalry, this one, but they've never come together in an NPC final. In fact, it's new ground entirely for Wellington, who last won the title back in 1986. Well, it's a great occasion, the NPC final in the First Division, and here come the visitors, if you like, Wellington onto Eden Park. For the big final, Graham Murray can call on the same 15 players who won the semi-final in Hamilton last week. In fact, this Wellington side has been lucky with injuries during the season, and most of the players have played in all 11 games. Key man are David Holwell, who has the goal-kicking duties tonight again, and Philo Tiatia, who's been in rampant form throughout the season, and Norm Hewitt is the captain of the Wellington side. And we'll see a fair few of these reserves as the match unfolds, and the coach is former All Black captain Graham Murray. And what an inspirational season Philo Tiatia has had, Murray.
Well, he's been magnificent. He's been like a wild lion, actually. He's taken a lot of stopping. In fact, nobody stopped him this year. He's definitely playing the best rugby of his career, and I'm looking forward to seeing him explode into this final.
They're looking very calm and collected, the Wellington side. It's been a low-key, understated week in preparation for this match, but that's the Graham Murray way. And now they just patiently await the arrival of the Auckland side. And what a moment this is for the great Michael Jones. The big news from the Auckland camp is that Ronnie Clark will play in the number 13 jersey, but the man everyone is talking about is number 10, Aurini Ai, his first really big game at this level. And tonight we bid farewell to one of the greatest players to pull on boots, Michael Jones, a veteran of 55 test matches, gives it away after 15 seasons of first-class rugby. And the captain of Auckland is number 1, Paul Thompson. Real depth on the bench for the Auckland side. And the coach, Wayne Pivac. Just an hour ago, Ronnie Clark was cleared fit to play after struggling with a hamstring injury all week. Aurini Ai, well, just how will he relate to the pressure that'll be placed on him tonight? Afisa Tanu'u will feed the ball from the base of the scrum to the brilliant Ai. Adrian Cashmore has the goal-kicking duties. Tension all round. The players just want to get it going. Michael Jones has 80 minutes left in rugby. Kelvin Dika of Hawke's Bay to referee the First Division final. Steve Walsh and Tony Green to run the touchlines. And we're underway in the First Division final of the NPC, Auckland against Wellington. And the ball falls for Kevin Yates on the Wellington side. Spice to Steinmetz, pushing the left boot forward. Cashmore's just inside the 22 and gets the fair catch.
Well, outstanding start for Wellington, taking the ball from their own kickoff and putting the bomb up for Cashmore, but he handled it so well. Great composure.
Kickers coming up short. Steinmetz has knocked it back across to Holwell, pushing down for Tanu'u. I.e. they're targeting in on him smartly, and Vanisi absolutely flew at him. Spice going back. It's Jason Spice, and a clever little kick from the halfback, and Wellington have the early honours.
Every player seemingly comfortable at this level with this intensity and this pressure, but I guess points to Wellington at the end of this little foray.
Just on sideline, Grant, there is a slight wind favouring Wellington. It's not significant, but it certainly is in their favour at this stage.
Thanks, Greg. Greg Cooper sideline for us tonight. as Paul Mitchell prepares to go to the first line out of the evening. A very important facet of the game. And Auckland have it.
And beautifully taken too by Rickelman. It is important, psychologically very important, the first line out for Mitchell and for the line out jumpers.
Tanu'u, and they're offside, those Wellington players. Opportunity too. We know the All Blacks are watching this game as Junior Tanu'u. He gets his kick charge down, but Dion Waller was waiting offside. But a special welcome to the players who are vitally affected by this game. Craig Dowd, Robin Brooke, Andrew Blowers and Dylan Mika in the Auckland side, and of course Christian Cullen, Tana Umaga, Alama Iramia watching this game from Edinburgh. Welcome in, guys, and let's hope it all goes well tomorrow.
Yes, it's fantastic to think that they're sitting here watching this game in England, poised to blow their opposition apart in the quarter-final. Go for it, chaps.
Watching the game, of course, through B-Sky B in Britain. Lovely time to watch it, 7:30 in the morning. Wish we could say the same when the All Blacks are playing. Beautifully taken down by Dion Waller as Wellington are just out from the 22, and Holwell shovels it on to Steinmetz, who's proved a danger man in this NPC, and he sets it for Jason Spice. Holwell is standing off to the right, looking for Tiatia, and he'll run at them all night, and Auckland have got themselves offside. Diving in over the top, in fact, right in the centre of the 22, and Kelvin Dika comes up with the first penalty.
Well, it's a problem, this ruling, isn't it? We've seen it in the World Cup for sure. In fact, some referees have destroyed the matches in the World Cup at this tackle ball rule.
I think you'll find it may have been Paul Mitchell. Yes, there he is. Number 2 came over there, and this presents David Holwell with a shot at goal. And one would normally say this is a very easy shot, but it's the pressure of the occasion, and it's the fact that Holwell probably not in the best of form at present. He desperately needs to land this goal for himself and for his team.
But Greg, I mean, I agree. Mitchell went over the top, but Wellington won the ball, so why blow the whistle?
Here's Holwell's first kick. And the early initiative in the final is with Wellington. And a good band of supporters up here at Eden Park as Wellington lead by 3-0.
I just feel that there should be more liberal use of the advantage law in rugby and giving the teams an opportunity to play more rugby. I thought Stuart Dickinson sold his soul really in that match, Argentina versus Ireland. Over stringent refereeing.
Iei with the long one. It's straight through the hands of Tiatia, and Rush has it under control. Big mistake by Filo Tiatia. Desperate to get this back. It's slow, and it'll be a scrum.
Big mistake by Filo Tiatia. Auckland in a perfect position, poised to score. They're so dangerous, Auckland, traditionally in the first 5 minutes of each half. History's shown it. They'll be hard to stop right here.
The first big test of the scrums.
Well, almost inevitable, isn't it? Finals rugby when the front rows clash for the first time.
Yeah, Murray, wasn't that a big hit from Wellington? They were really trying to assert some dominance early on there.
Well, I think it's one area that they appear to have a little bit of dominance. In fact, they have to exploit it if they can. But so crucial, this first scrum, and particularly right on. Yes, well, I guess a bit from both sides there. Mitchell obviously not happy about things. But so crucial, so important, so psychological for these two front rows.
He wants them closer, Kelvin Dika. He doesn't want them smashing into each other.
Well, the Auckland scrum held.
Tanu'u ready to release. Iei goes blindside. Tanu'u has managed to keep it in the field of play. Taken out though by Wellington. Defence was good down the blind side. And the big clearance made by Jason Spice.
So we lost it on screen, but Wellington clearing. Desperate to clear, no doubt. This will be a good angle. So Iei trying to keep the ball alive, flicks it inside. So Wellington weathering the first storm.
Irini Ai'i, who has been nothing short of sensational in the NPC. Now Paul Mitchell looking towards Michael Jones at the back. That's a poor throw, and it wasn't straight. Well, that's a bad start by Paul Mitchell. No excuses. As Greg said, just a breeze, certainly not a wind.
Well, you're talking about Irini Ai'i. It's been tremendous, this NPC. How many players it's exposed, while so many New Zealand rugby players have been away at the World Cup, not only in the New Zealand side, obviously.
Spice with the feed, Tiatia. Well, he was caught standing. He shrugged away from Michael Jones, which is not easy, and is able to set it again. Now Holwell pushing ahead. I think he's put this out over the touchline on the full. Yes, he has.
Well, just a few nerves early on in this match, and there is a lot of pressure involved, obviously. Players making a few mistakes. Holwell there, Tiatia before. Mitchell with his line-out throw. Players need to settle down.
Yes, well, obviously bad communication here between Philo Tiatia and his half, but he got out of it.
So another chance here for Paul Mitchell to get it right. Charles Rickelman near the front. Leo Lafali'i in the middle, and Michael Jones an option too. Lafali'i for Auckland, just near the 22 in Wellington territory. Happy to march them towards the touchline. Now Palmer smashes in to Tiatia, hits him hard, and holds him up too, and turned over. Terrific tackle by Tiatia. And Wellington winning the early physical battle there. Palmer went in and came off second best.
Well, he did. He ran into Tiatia, which was a bit of a problem for him. But interesting little example there. We saw Auckland taking the ball down very, very competently and driving it away. But Palmer, of course, became isolated. He rolled off the back by himself and ran into trouble.
Well, Murray, we talked about it before the match, didn't we, about defence being the key to this match tonight. And Wellington certainly around the fringes there have started well in their attacking defence.
Well, really important for Auckland to get some go forward because they are so good over the advantage line.
It's on the Auckland side for Tanu'u. Pushing down towards the right winger for Wellington, Ali Koko. They freed it nicely out into centre field. Fleming for Steinmetz. Looking for support. He's got it too from Sullivan. He's not afraid to have a go, Colin Sullivan. And it was a good covering tackle in the finish from the speedster Doug Howlett.
Well, it started on one side of the field and ended up on the other. Wellington moving the ball away from the trouble points. Sullivan trying hard to get on the outside of his marker, but hard to do that with Doug Howlett. A couple of men with real wheels.
Auckland opened on the TAB as raging hot favourites on Monday morning, but since that time the money's poured in on Wellington to the point where they've dropped about $1.50 in the head-to-head market.
Well, it has been interesting listening to Radio Sport all week, and just about every man and his dog has been saying that Auckland's going to dominate this game and win comfortably, but I feel it's going to be more evenly fought than that.
Another Wellington penalty on their own 10-metre line. So Auckland have the marginal territorial advantage, but Wellington have had most of the ball in the first 10 minutes of the final.
So Wellington's first opportunity from set play inside the Auckland half. Their first throw to the line-out.
Crowd of about 20,000 at Eden Park for the final. Being played on a perfect night in Auckland. Norm Hewitt looking for the targets. So quickly taken by Spice, up for Afiaki. One of the standout players on the Wellington side this year. Now Spice. Holwell to Steinmetz, running all sorts of moves. He's buried. He's a danger man, Steinmetz, and Auckland are well and truly conscious of that.
Yes, it was great defence by Auckland because you're right, Steinmetz has really been cutting some capers midfield in this competition so far. Ronnie Clark not liking Mike Edwards' action there.
I think Auckland can feel a little bit hard done by there. I thought the tackle, I think it was from Innes, got Steinmetz going backwards. I would have thought Auckland should have had that put into the scrum.
Well, the touch judge has seen something, Greg, so let's have a listen as we have a look.
Put his foot into that situation.
Yeah, some kind of...
Nothing particularly. I just called taking out. Yes, couldn't nominate the player, but it was unnecessary and illegal. Okay, cheers. Skipper, while that was going on, the ball was up, okay, black players didn't get a number, came in, used the feet recklessly, it was uncalled for. Okay, the penalty's going here to blue. Let's just play the ball, Black.
So for everybody to hear, Wellington a little bit too aggressive, driving over, perhaps not where the ball was. Yes, it was a great tackle by that man, Craig Innes, on his opposite, Paul Steinmetz. Certainly a little bit of research done on the Wellington back play, and the script was read beautifully. This was the end of it. Well, there's a bit of rucking going on for sure.
Lafayette for Auckland, and Apiaki is offside.
Finds the ball, okay? Finds the ball, came right around the blue side.
Yes, of course, he was offside because the ball was taken cleanly, two hands.
Well, he came right across the line, didn't he? That was the only decision that the referee Dika could make, and now presents Adrian Cashmore with a chance. Didn't kick particularly well last weekend, and he's got a difficult one to start first up.
Yes, Apiaki standing over the line, Greg, wasn't he? Of course.
Yes, that's right. He had already come across, so it was the only decision that could be made.
Of course, once the ball leaves the centre of the line-out, in other words, if it's tapped from the centre of the line-out, then every player in the line-out becomes onside and can go through after the ball. But he actually went through and was standing stationary. So an opportunity for Cashmore, albeit difficult.
Just an update on the sideline. Mitchell's being taken off and Mialamu's coming on.
Away to the left, first up from Adrian Cashmore. So the first opportunity for Auckland goes astray, and Wellington continue to lead after the David Holwell penalty. They go long, Wellington. Tanu'u, as he often does, dropping back for Howlett. They haven't really had a chance to run yet, Auckland. And once they do, they get buried right in the middle of the cricket block. 5 metres in Auckland territory, and it's there on the blue side. Again, pushing it down to that right wing of Wellington, where Holwell waits. Keeps it low, and Cashmore fielding at 10-metre line. Holwell calls. Good clean tack too by David Holwell. And just look at the speed that Wellington get back behind the ball. Now onto the left boot of Paul Steinmetz, his favoured boot by Emi. Spice inside the 22. And Holwell again. It's a game of force back. Tanu'u. Kick and chase. Holwell stands back, calls the mark, and again unleashes the big powerful kick, and this is a beauty.
Well, it was a game of force back, wasn't it? And it all started, if you recall, way back from a long dropout 22, where the Wellington defence came up in a line. And this is the final result. The big clearance kick from David Holwell, bouncing it into touch.
Well,
but it's an Auckland throw.
He's been in good form, hasn't he, Murray, lately? His goal kicking probably not quite there to his high standard we know of, but certainly his general play has been outstanding.
Kevin Mialamu, number 22, replacing Paul Mitchell. As Greg mentioned, he's off the park. Wellington have one against the throw.
And that's where they've been so strong in matches leading up.
There it is for Spice. Holwell, Steinmetz, slipped it to O'Halloran. He got buried in a beauty by Carter. Venisi's first there. Wellington held on. Quickly taken by Carter. And they didn't go back to 10 metres. Mark Carter came up with a huge tackle on O'Halloran.
Once again, great defence. Obviously, they've done a little bit of work in that respect. Jason O'Halloran sailed through the gap in the back line on that straight run on 2 or 3 occasions. His timing has been so good all year, but wasn't that well covered. Great tackle, Mark Carter.
Something of a veteran these days, just like Michael Jones. Mark Carter. Charles Rickelman waiting for Kevin Mialama, whose first throw was won by Wellington.
So that puts more heat on his second throw, but he nailed it.
Lafai is reliable in the middle of the lineout. Tanu'u heaves it away for Ai'i. Up into centre field for Ironi Clark, getting his first real touch of the ball.
And that's over the advantage line, which is what they wanted.
Caleb Ralph straight into Brad Fleming and held up as well by O'Halloran. Keen to keep him up there too and force the turnover.
Well, I reckon that's a tough call, that one. Wellington driving him backwards. Philo Tiatia came in from behind and drove straight through right where the ball was. So the tackle's made. O'Halloran and Fleming driving Ralph back. And there comes Tiatia right from behind the ball, right over the ball. So it's a tough call.
Penalty's been given though, and it's another shot for Adrian Cashmore, other side of the field this time.
Well, Auckland just haven't been able to settle down, have they? The defence of Wellington's been strong. We talked about before the match the clinical game that Auckland will play, a little bit conservative, but they're being put off their stride by some aggressive defence from Wellington.
Yes, well, that's exactly right. Auckland haven't been very creative from set play. They've played a fairly stationary, well, not a stationary game, but a fairly controlled game, crashing it up midfield and kicking, of course, from broken play or from counter-attack. They've been absolutely lethal. They've been the Auckland of old, quite exceptional on occasions, but they haven't had that opportunity so far in this game, and it's quarter through.
Better from Adrian Cashmore. Auckland are on the board after 18 minutes.
And also Elvis Sevali's on at the moment for Wellington. I think it might be Brad Fleming's the man off at present.
Elvis Sevali. Yes, Brad Fleming getting some running repairs done. I think it's a head wound. Wellington charging after this. Wellington walked all over the top of Auckland there, and they should be able to recover this. Now the black forward pack gets going. Mialamo in there to make a tackle. And it's going to be a tough battle in that forward pack tonight, if that's any example.
Yes, well, obviously Wellington declaring their intentions there. Any opportunity for the pick and go, they're into it. They've got some strong men in that area for sure. Anoki Afiaki's been dominant this season, and also obviously Philo Tiatia.
Murray, what's the chance on this scrum here that Tiatia to try and take it off and get somewhere near Ironi Ai'i, try and put a bit of pressure on him? We see Yates there with a cut to his head.
Yes, well, I mean, I'm picking them to use the short side a little bit in this game. And Tiatia's combination, of course, with Spice has been so good. It's developed as the season has gone on quite well. They seem to have good communication, although in saying that, I'm mindful of the very first scrum of the day where they had a communication breakdown. But there's a good blind side here. It's a good 15, well, it's a good 17 or 18 metres on the blind side. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Tiatia work the short side with perhaps a lefto to Spice dropping out.
You may have just seen there, Murray Driver came on, former Waikato player there, replacing Kevin Yates. It's a blood bin.
Yes, well, of course, to do a scrum move, you need stability in the scrum first.
It'll always be slightly disruptive having a new man in there, and Driver's gone on to the tight head side. So Edwards shifts over to the loose head on this side.
Yeah, that must be hard for the Wellington front row. It seems to be quite stable. Well, great defence by Tonu.
Read it beautifully. Now hacked ahead by Rush. Fleming getting back. Well held by Howlett. It's on the Wellington side, though, for Jason Spice. They recovered well. Tia onto Holwell. Now it's O'Halloran pushing it through for Coco. He got flattened after the kick. And was it late?
Oh, I don't really think it was late. I think it was good D.
Yes, correct. It was good defence by Ronnie Clark, but a very good decision by Jason O'Halloran. That was the only option. Clark was committed. O'Halloran executed it well. That's a cruncher, that one.
That's a great tackle.
Well, it was great play all round, really, because Auckland defence from the initial scrum was absolutely superb. Kicked the ball through. Wellington battled to get out of it, but they moved the ball away from the problem areas. It's good rugby.
Michael Jones in short this time for Auckland. Halfway through the first half in the Air New Zealand NPC First Division final. Auckland controlling this.
Yes, and a good drive, isn't it? Need one more man at the back there to take the ball, I guess.
Tanu'u done a lot of kicking from the base. Concentrating down Ali Coco's wing. Here's a bounce. Beautifully snapped up by Caleb Ralph. Chance here for Auckland as they set the target, and he didn't let it go.
Well, I felt either player could have been penalised there. Obviously, Ennis holding the ball, but the Wellington player also was on his knees trying to get the ball, so it could have gone either way. But the mistake coming from Coco, letting the ball bounce, you don't do that at this level of rugby.
A good chase, though, wasn't it, from Caleb Ralph, but let's give Fisa Tanu credit. A good kick, finding space.
Working to a plan down that right wing of Wellington. Tanu'u just pushing it down there at every opportunity.
Well, obviously they've targeted that area, putting the ball up and behind, perhaps Coco on Sullivan.
Hewitt on the back foot.
Well, once again, I battle with that one. Greg, you're a bit closer, but I felt that Auckland were driving forward.
Yes, it's a messy situation, isn't it? And it isn't quite clear there at the present time. Mealamu coming in, putting the pressure on.
Well, yeah, I guess they did drive over onto the deck.
Just an update there, seeing Kevin Mealamu there. Paul Mitchell has a torn calf, so his season is gone, sadly for him. He's had trouble with injuries before. He's off in the final for 99.
Well, that was a bit lame. Nobody was expecting that. And it was knocked through the Wellington line-out. Just no communication there at all. And even the Auckland side was surprised that it came in.
Great opportunity here, though, for Arenioe to put one high to the air to see what Sullivan's like. Will they do it?
Tight final so far. Penalty apiece. Big scrum, Wellington.
So let's have a look at this Auckland backline. It is a perfect opportunity, Greg, isn't it, to put the ball up for the first time in the game, really.
The way he's positioning there, it looks as though he's ready to run, not to kick.
Better scrum this time from Auckland, i.e. off to Rush. Well aware of his capabilities, so they go in there. There was a Wellington hand in there for sure.
No, you've got the penalty. Two of you guys here, straight over. 2 and 8. The start of feet. Hey.
Spice collected a boot here. Have a look at this. It was accidental. Whoa.
Yes, that was nasty, wasn't it? Totally accidental, but there's the result.
Yeah, he doesn't look so great either. Although I did see his eyes open then. He moved afterwards. He lifted his head, then he went back down. There it is. It's a whack on the side of the face. To look, didn't he hit the deck?
Velo Tiatia, along with Norm Hewitt, penalised. Kupu Vanisi, what a season he's had at the NPC.
Yes, he's been magnificent. He played as Josh Cromfeld's understudy for so long down Otago and developed so many traits that are so similar, particularly around that tackled ball area. He's in there often what appears to be from an offside position. So you've got to understand the rules pretty completely to be able to play that sort of game. Sometimes, oh, Jason Spice not good at all. Well, this is bad news for Wellington. He's had a huge year, this man.
Well, he's really served the back line well, hasn't he? He's got probably the best pass in the country, and he's developing as an all-round player. Ricky Flutie will replace him. A good footballer, Ricky Flutie, but inexperienced at this level.
Yes, well, he's not only been serving the back line well, Greg, but he's been absolutely tenacious as well.
Well, he's competitive, isn't he? He's a yapper. He gets the forwards going.
He could well be back, Jason Spice. But in the meantime, Cashmore to put Auckland in front for the first time.
Dead-eyed Dick, Adrian Cashmore, he's dangerous at Eden Park. Those sort of kicks, even though it was a good 40 metres, are bread and butter to this man.
2 penalties to 1. As Holwell kicks out. Tipped on the Wellington side eventually. Edwards off to Flutie, his first pass to Holwell. Coming down near the 22 with O'Halloran leading the charge for Wellington. Well controlled though by Adrian Cashmore. And Auckland should be able to free this. i.e. positioned inside the 22 for the clearance. Sullivan just on his own side of halfway. Support comes from Ali Koko, the try scorer on the right wing side. Now Flutie away again for Holwell. Tiatia hands it on to Steinmetz. Running chance for Wellington, but the defence is huge from a Ronnie Clark. Some jolting tackles in this game. Flutie pushes the kick in towards the corner. Cashmore having to get back. He's kept it in too, but Sullivan is back in good position. Immediately sends it off for Holwell. Another of the high kicks, but this will be easy. Well, it should be for Xavier Rush. He's got all the time in the world here to unleash his kick, and he does it very well.
Yes, Rush deciding to slow things down a little bit. Well, it's very competitive all areas so far, Grant. No team really getting the ascendancy. Look at that tackle. Steinmetz drove as though he meant it.
He's not afraid, is he, Murray? He'll take it up. Ronnie Clark, one of the best tacklers in the business. Steinmetz took him on.
She's a keen contest.
Hewitt finding Afiaki. Oh, he didn't find him at all. Jones tips it back for Lafaili'i.
So that's one each against the throw.
There's a rack in form. Rack in form. Pick the ball up. There's a rack. That's bad luck. It hit him quickly.
So it's hard to see from our angle, but it was a little bit overthrown, but it was good work by Michael Jones going through, anticipating early, which of course has been a hallmark to this man's game his whole career. Michael Jones, anticipation, perception, mental telepathy perhaps on occasions.
Got everything, hasn't he, really? One of the all-time greats.
Yes, well, the superlatives, of course, it's all been said about Michael Jones, but he's been just such a superb athlete and role model in his sport for all and sundry to observe and enjoy.
Just an update from the sideline. Yates and also Spice looking ready to come back on. A double chain for Wellington shortly.
Here's Jones leading the charge. Now Tonu'u for IEE. Up for a Ronnie Clark. Wellington holding in midfield as well. Now Tonu'u. Change of direction. Cashmore thought about a drop kick. Sullivan with an awkward one just near his own post. Had no hope of finding that one, but he's got it back. Here's the counter-attack. Swirling wind did him completely. Now Flutie delivers away for Holwell. Holwell's in a big gap. He's got O'Halloran. Couldn't find him. And Tia's knocked it forwards. And the referee will go back for the scrum.
Well, it's exciting stuff, isn't it? Colin Sullivan losing that ball altogether. Saved by an unbelievable bounce, which of course the rugby ball tends to do. Have a look at this. Sits on its end, and Sullivan punishing the opportunity. Good drive forward and laying the ball back nicely for Wellington, and Spice to take the hole.
Yates and Spice back on the park. Tonu'u ready to deliver. Again, the nudge down into the right wing side. This time, Coco is standing up flat. Sullivan standing outside the 22, and he's got good distance on this kick. Tonu'u fires it off to IEE with a bit of space. Hasn't had much so far in the game. Now Holwell's drifted back too. A little nudge down into the corner. This is a clever kick from David Holwell. A very clever kick.
Well, it was. In fact, I don't think he would have been too worried if it hadn't bounced into touch. It was tremendous, really. I have noticed Holwell dropping back. As soon as the ball turns over, I see Holwell dropping back. And they're sort of splitting the field, Sullivan, Holwell, like almost playing two fullbacks. Quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, very Mertens-like, isn't he, Holwell, at the moment? Dropping back like Mertens does, utilising that powerful boot he's got.
So there's been a lot of discussion on those sorts of tactics with Murray being part of the scene, I'm sure. There he is, Afisa Tonu, formerly from Wellington, played many years now for Auckland.
Yes, since 1993. Mealamu goes towards the back this time for Lafaili'i.
Well, it's the only thing to do, isn't it, from a line out deep inside your 22, is to drive it out, keeping control of the ball.
Tonu'u waiting as Brad Fleming. He got out of a couple of tackles. Did a good job. 10 out from the 22 as Fleming sets it now. Spice away for Holwell. Now Steinmetz looking for the support of Sullivan. Threw it away from Sullivan though. And he's happy to get it across the touchline. Well, they were running all sorts of angles there.
Which they've done so consistently and so competitively all season. Well, not all season, the latter part of the season for sure. This has been one area Wellington have really cut some capers. They've been drawing. Yes, well, the pass went astray, but the Auckland defence was up to it anyway, really.
It was on for Ali Coco, but he just timed his run a little bit too early. If he'd have kept his run late, he would have been able to punch off Steinmetz.
Mealamu finds Michael Jones. It's been stolen away, though, by Afiaki with all his pace. Terrific show of pace. 15 metres out from the line. Venisi carries it on. Now it's off to Yates. Makes a couple of metres. Ball knocked back. So IE takes off. And he's taken late, I think. Not called. Sullivan over to Steinmetz. He slips them again. Steinmetz just picked up from behind. Fleming has it. Game really starting to open up now. Wellington have it again. Away goes Holwell. Coco. Hewitt's out wide.
Feed your speed. Hewitt out wide.
Big defence though from Auckland. The Lions holding well.
Well, what a magnificent facet of play. Tremendous. Started from Inoki Afiaki with a devastating run down the short side. He's got real wheels, this man. It all started here, actually. Michael Jones there's Inoki ripping the ball free, and what a run. And he set it up, he went forward, Venisi drove off him. Kevin Yates, I felt sorry for Yates. He got the ball and fell. Well, he's so dangerous, isn't he, Steinmetz? And broken play with half a yard or half a gap, he takes it. The old ankle tap from behind. Caper slowed him down, though, that time.
Interesting call here by Wellington. You'll see Coco standing in there at first 5'8". Holwell has dropped back. No doubt awaiting a kick from Tanu'u, which seems inevitable. There it is. And this time it's Holwell waiting under it.
Yes, good tactics.
And through the gap goes Holwell. 10-metre line Auckland territory. Tia drags them an extra 5. Now it's Edwards. Mialamu's got his hands in there. Wow.
Yes, it was just a fraction too long. Edwards set it up and the gap was just a little bit too much. The Auckland hand came over and he was on his feet. And then the next Wellington player drove into that player, drove him off. But Edwards still held hold of the ball. If he'd let it go, of course, it would have been a turnover to Auckland. So I thought it was actually good play all round and very good refereeing.
6 minutes out from half-time. Penalty count 9-4 against Wellington. Mialamu beautifully tipped on the Wellington side by Waller. Spice not able to hang on to it. That was Dallas Seymour. So Auckland get it back through Carter, and he knocked it on.
Just an update, Bradley Fleming off and Elvis Seveli back on again.
Looks like it might be the end of the night for Brad Fleming. Savia Li'i is on the right wing now, and so Ali Koko goes to the left. Auckland scrum under big pressure here. Rush getting back. Loose pass for Innes. Showing a bit of strength, Craig Innes. Drags them almost to halfway.
Well, he's showing a lot of strength, Craig Innes.
Certainly been signs in this match that the Auckland scrum is under pressure.
Well, that's right. I mean, that's the one area really that Wellington have been strong. So there's been a lot of change of positions here. The Wellington backline players moving around. Bradley Fleming off the field. He'll be disappointed. He's had a good season also. Yes, that's bad luck there because that wasn't a good hit. Yeah, I think that's pretty tough, really. I would have called for another scrum, actually.
Yeah, he said he's coming on the angle, hasn't he? And that's what he's done him for.
Four minutes left in the first half.
Yes, and it's just whistled by, hasn't it? It's been non-stop action. Both teams, well, Wellington particularly willing to move the ball.
We talked about this time of the game last week, didn't we, guys? Where Auckland come into it. Dangerous time for Wellington.
Yes, Auckland have been masters at this over the years. They've got the ball up off the ground. It's still there. Now it's coming for Tanu'u. Pretty slow, but there it is. IE. Here come the runners. Tackles are made again. Ripped away by Holwell. And Jason O'Halloran is offside.
Yeah, Norm Hewitt not liking it, but tough call, I thought, on the Wellington D. They looked lined up. They had so much time to line up, of course, because the ball was so deadly, so slow. Yeah, so let's see this. Well, you pick a man offside there, and you got better eyes than me.
Yes, well, he certainly wasn't any more offside than anybody else, was he?
It's a line ball call, but maybe the call came from the touch judge. The end result is Adrian Cashmore looking to get points before half-time.
Well, the end result's 3 points, isn't it? Which is actually quite significant, really.
What a great sight that is, the new stand at Eden Park.
Yes, well, I heard the expectations of this crowd was only about 20,000, but there's clearly more than that here tonight. Of course, it's a long weekend in New Zealand.
Cashmore converts the penalty. We're still trialless in the first half, but Auckland have 3 penalties to 1.
So there he is, Graham Murray, the analyst, the brains trust of the Wellington Rise to stronger position in the championship for sure. The Lions starting to roar.
Holwell with the restart. Lafayette waits. It's on the Wellington side. They've done pretty well from these kickoffs. Now Holwell. He's found a few gaps himself tonight. Ball's in the hands of Rush. He's given it away though to Spice. So Wellington get another shot at it. Yates to the 22-metre line. Last throw of the dice in the first half. Steinmetz. Afiaki's well taken. Auckland will always make those inside tackles. Now Spice again. Holwell looking on the inside as O'Halloran. Snapped up by Waller. It's going to be there again for Jason Spice. Holwell once more. He slipped a few tackles tonight. David Holwell. He's only 5 metres short. And the ball's been lost forwards. Well, Auckland are going to have to keep an eye on David Holwell, I suspect. They might have been looking for other runners.
Well, I think that's exactly right. The situation is that Wellington have so many runners running off the ball. It's work off the ball that's so key for Wellington this year, because it's thrown the opposition defence into 6s and 7s, really, and I think the same thing happened there. Auckland were battling to know who to target, and Holwell slipped through the gap, but lost the ball forward in the tackle. So Foxy looking a little bit worried.
Just a minute or so away from getting a chance to talk to their sides, the coaches.
That's a telling statistic. Handling error is 8-1.
Tanu'u, beautifully dragged down. Goodness, that was a tough one. It's down for Coco. And here comes Ali Coco. Support was there from Seymour. Big defence from Auckland.
Too many down.
And that's half-time. First 40 minutes has been completed in the Air New Zealand First Division NPC final. It's been trialless in the first half, but Auckland with 3 Adrian Cashmore penalties to 1 by David Holwell for Wellington, lead by 9-3.
Well, through my yellow and black glasses, I'd say points to Wellington for sure. They've made all the play in this half, but they've also made the mistakes. And when I look at the scoreboard, I see 9 points to 3 to Auckland. They'd be happy with that going into this half. But I guess there's signs there that Wellington are here to play this game, and they say, well, this is no good. If we're looking at Michael Jones, doesn't look like in very good shape. This would be very, very disappointing for Michael Jones to finish his career with yet another injury, because that right shoulder does look a lot lower, doesn't it?
So there it is, half-time at Eden Park, and the scoreboard tells the story of Auckland leading by 9 points to 3. The city of sails with the Sky Tower very prominent, and Auckland, of course, the scene tonight of the Air New Zealand First Division NPC final, and the home team have the advantage at the break, but it's been a tight, tough affair, as befits a final. And there's Wayne Pivac, Grant Fox and Jim Blair having done their bit at half-time. They chose to come out fairly quickly. Wellington stayed in the dressing room. And an interesting change too. We haven't seen Michael Jones back yet, but Greg, I understand he might come back.
Yes, he's got a bit of a cut to his elbow, and so hopefully he is going to come back. They're saying he's going to be. I think he got a sprig somewhere along there. So fingers crossed we'll see him back for another 40 minutes of rugby.
So Fina Marker, who spent a bit of time with the Hurricanes a couple of years ago, so be familiar with some of these Wellington players. Kelvin Dika says, let's go. Second half of the First Division final. And Jason Spice off to Tiatia, gets some steam up. Makes it over the 22. Spice back for Holwell. And the towering punt from David Holwell takes us to the first line out of the second half.
Just an update from the coaches. Well, just one coach didn't get a chance to talk with Graham Murray, but Grant Fox has said that they've been slow to getting from A to B. Certainly too slow getting to the rucks, and he said they may need to take it up the middle a bit more, take Wellington on up front.
Well, I think they need to, really, because they're coming second in that area. Wellington signalling their intentions early in this game with Tiatia.
Beautifully taken off an Auckland throw. Mialamu didn't read it particularly well. And here's Wellington doing exactly that, taking Auckland on up front. Hewitt, right on the halfway line. Spice, high for Holwell. Coco, hard man to put down. They finally get him, though. Change of direction. Now Holwell. Tiatia. Just couldn't transfer it off to Hewitt.
Yeah, it was good defence on Tiatia, though.
Here's Afiaki. Big defence again. Auckland have had to make a lot of tackles in this game, and they've done it well. Yates. It's there again for Spice. Holwell. Steinmetz, not afraid to have a crack at the gap. Winning ruck after ruck. Now Holwell. And Sevilla Lee almost got clear. Went to ground, snapped it up again. Fired out into midfield. That's a wild pass. It's going to work out all right, I think. Cashmore boots it out.
Well, that's Kevin Yates over on the touchline looking fairly tired. Yes, it was a missed pass there. Elvis very nearly getting clear air on the outside.
Taking a while to arrive, some of these blokes. That was a long sequence.
Yes, he doesn't look as composed as last week, that's for sure.
Ball on the Wellington side eventually. Now Spice to Holwell. Steinmetz. Tiatia shovels onto Sullivan. Savialiki. He can't hang on. And he's got Auckland for offside. Right in centre field. Well, the penalty count was 11-4 in the first half. Well, not so much centre field at all. He's dragged it right back towards the main stand.
Just an update on the wind. There was a little bit of breeze to start with, but really there's nothing here at all. It puffs up from time to time, but at the moment, absolutely still.
It's interesting, actually. This is only David Holwell's second kick at goal. Quite an interesting statistic, really, when Wellington made so much play, had so much possession, so much second phase ball, but never really had another opportunity to kick a goal. So the discipline of Auckland really, and the elimination of errors has been commendable in the first half, where they've been taking a fair bit of a physical battering.
Here's Holwell. 2 out of 2 tonight for David Holwell, and the gap is just 3 points.
So this kickoffs has been an interesting area. Wellington been recovering a lot of ball from their own kick. Let's see how they are in receiving it.
IEE, beautiful drop kicker of the ball, as we've seen many times in the last few weeks. Holwell for Tiatia. Bit high from Rush, but no damage done. Spice bangs it down as far as Caleb Ralph. Some of these blokes have been out of the game tonight. Tiatia waits back, but Holwell wants it instead.
It's good to see. Good communication there, because Tiatia was sitting under that ball. He obviously heard this man David Holwell over-calling.
Making very good contact with the ball tonight, Holwell. That's a beautifully timed punt again. In fact, he's been a standout player in this match.
Well, he has. He's developed as the year's gone on, David Holwell. Lots of criticism of David during the Super 12, but I think that he's made a lot of progress with a year of strong club rugby.
Finau Marker takes it in close. for Auckland. Tanu'u. IEE haven't let him run much tonight. Vanisi tracked him across and dumped him. 10-metre line Auckland territory. Well, he shouted a number of times, let it go.
Asking him to let it go. The ball was right there. Let's go.
Well, it was interesting, all right. The referee was certainly screaming out, let it go, and in the end he penalised. Of course, the Wellington players don't have to let it go, provided they're on their feet. That's the key, but I guess, well, it's hard to tell who the player is that's holding the ball. I guess the referee was in a better position than us to see.
Well, the little man's gone down. He was chased hard by Vanisi.
Well, he's had a little bit of an armchair ride, I think, behind a dominant Auckland pack, really, in the majority of this NPC competition. But we're seeing a different situation here now. We're seeing Auckland under pressure, their forwards going backwards, and the Wellington players, of course, running on forwards. Vanisi catching IE with possession and drilling him, which, of course, is what an open side flanker loves to do to a first 5-8.
Just manages to get it to the touchline. Well, he's burst on the scene in 1999 after just one game last year. Lafaili'i has been the most reliable of the Auckland line-out takers. Tanu'u winds up for IEE. Clark probing in midfield. Good strength from Ronnie Clark to take them another 5 metres. And it's going to be a scrum. Well, no signs of that troublesome hamstring problem that Ronnie Clark brought into this game.
No, strong play by Auckland, driving very effectively from the line-out take by Rickelman. And then, of course, into the midfield where they're so strong, so physically strong, and able to break that advantage line and retain possession, or the scrum for possession.
Open side they go, i.e. Ennis, and referee got in the road that time.
Yes, it certainly fooled the referee, but pity for Auckland. There was a good, well-timed move, although you could see there Holwell reading it well, coming across to make the defence or make the defensive tackle.
I thought it was on for the referee actually to take that ball.
It's a long way to run though, Mex.
Stand.
Well, it's a great position for Auckland though, really. I mean, admittedly he got in the way, but now it's a midfield scrum. They've split their defence, their attack, which of course splits Wellington's defence. So there's a bit of talk on this side of the field. I'd say it's coming to the left. Let's have a look.
Yes, it is. IE, nice little nudge through. Chase is all coming. Coco's lost it. And that's an early touch right. Yes, it is. Caleb Ralph has come up with the first try.
Well, you've got to take your opportunities in the game of rugby, and Auckland had one presented to them on a plate. Beautiful little kick through. Big mistake by Coco. And also Sullivan, I think, although probably beaten by the bounce, and great pressure on the ball by Caleb Ralph.
Yes, good thinking rugby, wasn't it? But Coco should have held it there. He didn't do it. But we talk about Auckland, they can absorb the pressure they have all game, and here they've come back and responded with a try after half-time.
Yes, and in the psychological battle of rugby, this one's a very, very important one for Auckland, because they have been shuddering under the weight, but that will lift their shoulders for sure, and their optimism and their confidence. And it's a slam dunk to Wellington.
Adrian Cashmore, beautifully struck. Big moment in the match. The first try scored by Caleb Ralph, and Auckland establish a significant break.
And another big moment as Michael Jones is looking to come back onto the field. Here he comes down the tunnel. You can just see him there in the background.
Not there just yet as Wellington goes short with the kick-outs. Auckland controlling it well. A degree of control coming into their game. IE with Sullivan now. Off to Coco, who made the mistake. He'll want to try and make amends pretty smartly. There it is for Spice. Heaves it off to Holwell. O'Halloran. Steinmetz, well contained in midfield tonight. It's there again for Spice, though. Holwell. Not near the 22 here, so they drill him to ground this time, Cashmore. Did well, though, to turn it over. Now IE with the clearance. Good contact this time.
Well, it was a great clearance by IE. It's exactly what the doctor ordered. So Wellington ball into the line-out. So Wellington probably, no doubt, looking to continue their forward drive here. Perhaps a two-handed take and a drive forward.
You can see Mark Carter has come off, and Finau Marker has gone to the open side with Michael Jones back on.
Interesting switch there. Mark Carter, the open side flanker. Hewitt. Tipped by Afiaki for Yates. Afiaki goes again. Jones in to make the tackle, but not terribly effectively. Now Steinmetz. Again looking to get into the gap. Haven't been too many of them, though.
Come down! Off your feet, you're off your feet.
Yeah, Steinmetz setting it up well, really breaking the line. Yes, well, of course, you can't play that like that, so it was certainly a penalty to Wellington. So Wellington with an opportunity now. They're thrown to the line-out. Two very good exponents of line-out play, Onaki Afiaki and Dion Waller. They really have been dominant.
Towards the back of the line-out with Tia. Auckland look as though they ripped this away.
Yes, that was Thompson. Great work by Thompson. He snibbled around the back of Wellington's ruck. And Tia pushed it back to him, thinking he was a Wellington player.
Savialiki on the right wing side. Off to Sullivan, looking to attack from the back. Pushed it away nicely downfield. Now Marker. Sullivan hangs on. Now Mialamu. IE definitely playing the percentages and playing them well tonight. Holwell again is the Wellington defender. Caleb Ralph, the favoured left boot. Coco. Now Sullivan, he'll look to drive it again. Cashmore will have to skittle to keep this in. He does. Savialiki. "12 metres in Auckland territory as Wellington try and set it again. Spice off to Holwell. He's got Coco there. Big defence on him. Still there on the Wellington side, though. Steinmetz. Tia manages to hang on. A real scrap for the loose ball. Mialamu. Now Howard Hallett gets a go down the right wing side. Huge tackle on him.
Yes, right in front of me, and it was Dallas Seymour was the man. He put the big hit in, drove him hard.
Well, that was a little example we just saw for the first time, I guess, of Auckland so dangerous on a counter-attack. They haven't really had that opportunity so far in this game, but they won a turnover here at this ruck, and they only had about 5 metres of room to move. But till that tackle, they looked dangerous.
Spice away for Holwell, looking to link with the loose forwards. Not quite there for him, though. And Auckland might well have turned them, no. Notice the hands of a Ronnie Clark in the foreground go to his head.
Well, I thought they were unlucky, Auckland, not to perhaps get that scrum. Although David Holwell hit the deck, he wasn't driven backwards, he actually hit the deck, so I guess that was the referee's decision.
It's a tough, tight final, this. 16-6. Spice backs away, waiting for Tiatia.
And slowly the Wellington scrum goes forward. Tiatia not so sure to pick it up because Afisa Tonu is sitting right there on his shoulder, and they know each other rather well, those two.
Yes, Tanu'u in the Hurricanes squad at the start of the season. So again, trapped by Tiatia.
So the loose head being promoted by Auckland to cut down the angle. Or should I say, to open up the open side and force Wellington to take it short side. So Wellington really in this situation, if it happens again on a third scrum, they should punish it. Tiatia should pick it up immediately and belt short side, especially with Spice on his shoulder. Yes, there it goes again.
And now he's got it. It really didn't amount to much, did it? 10-metre line of Wellington territory. Spice off to Holwell. Holwell in the gap. Now O'Halloran. Dragged down by Ronnie Clark as Wellington hit this with everything. Now Spice off to Afiaki. The kick and chase from the big lock forward. And it's an early tackle.
Well, Noki Afiaki having all the skills and putting a very good kick. But really, I don't think he needed to kick it on that occasion. He got the ball. He should have run strongly like he normally does. But David Holwell did everything right. Jason O'Halloran set it up.
You're quite right, Murray, because the damage had been done initially with the getting in behind the line, and Noki Afiaki did it well, but it wasn't the right option.
Creeping up towards the halfway point in the second half. Rickelman with the clean take.
Well, it's good control, Auckland. The ball's under control, good communication. There it is at the back. We can see it now, still smuggling it back, the last man. Yeah, good play. Just inching it on. In fact, it's 25 metres they've taken, really, and got the penalty. So a round of applause for Auckland. Well played.
Grant Fox spoke about taking it up the middle at half-time, and that's exactly what he got on that occasion, putting the pressure back onto Wellington up front.
So this will be a difficult opportunity for Adrian Cashmore. Well, this is just the end of it, and Kelvin Deacon said that Wellington took it down. So we'll get the call from Greg here. He'll be looking right down the line, Greg.
Yes, that's right, and he'll be probably aiming just inside, slightly inside the right-hand upright. You may get a chance to have a look at that.
Well, we've got both keepers over there, haven't we? A couple of prolific goal kickers themselves. So let's have a look at this analytically.
He's too busy talking to Paul Mitchell at the moment, so it's up to me. But it's a big kick for Adrian Cashmore at present. If he can land this, it's really putting the heat on Wellington. Wellington not looking as though they're going to score here in the second half so far. So this one would certainly really put them back quite a bit if he can land this goal, Adrian Cashmore. Yes, he'll be looking to aim that just inside the right-hand upright. And see, there is a slight drag, slight fade, as he's been doing from right to left. Big goal.
Real concentration from the goal kicker. That's a lovely kick.
Yes, and significant too, pushing the score out to a 13-point margin. Wellington need to score to get back in this game on the scoreboard.
Instructions going down to the bench, no doubt, from Graham Murray. 19-6.
Just an update, Norm Broughton on, Sullivan off, and Steinmetz has moved back to fullback.
So change at the back for Wellington now. Here it is, Howell off to Broughton. Vastly experienced player, Norm Broughton. It's there for Afiaki to take on. Jones holds him up though. Struggles an extra metre or two. Now Spice. Howell again. Auckland defence has been outstanding so far. Away goes Steinmetz, looking for an inside runner. Couldn't find him.
Yes, the inside runner should have been there. Steinmetz did the work.
Auckland player lying prone at the moment as the play continues. Here's Afiaki, really giving it everything tonight. The big lock forward, lays it back again. Stolen away by Mialamu for Finau Maka as Auckland attempt the counter-attack. Reckelman looking for a runner, finds Cashmore. Ai'i. Cashmore again. Ai'i. Here goes the little bloke again, but he's kicked it out on the full.
Well, it was a great counter-attack though by Auckland. From a turnover way down on their 22, where they have an injury incidentally.
Yes, it's a Ronnie Clark when he tackled Noki Afiaki, but also down, there's Arini Ai, but also down is Lafali'i, he's down as well, but look at this, lovely skills there. Inside to Arini Ai, too much speed, pace for Norm Hewitt, just couldn't execute it in the end.
Leo Lafali'i is out of it. So Jason Chandler no doubt will come in for Auckland. Meantime, Ronnie Clark is walking rather gingerly back.
Well, the game is poised. If Wellington don't score next, it'll look like an Auckland victory to me. 18 points remaining. Wellington ball to the throw. Dion Waller. Two hands set up for the drive. And here it goes. Good controlled drive. Paul Thompson offside, taken out unceremoniously.
Spice pushing it down to Howlett. Quite comfortable under the high ball down Howlett. Hands it off. Here's a chance for Auckland. Cashmore keeps going. Cashmore. Spice with the tackle. Everybody's in after this. It's coming for Palmer. Fires it back. Auckland with a chance out wide. Howlett who started it. Mialamu. Referee's got the arm out the Wellington way.
Number 20. Number 20. Come on, straight up. Let's go 2 minutes, please.
Big chance for Auckland really to have sewn the game up in that sequence.
Yes, Jason Hammerin came in and took the inside man when really he had to stay. It was a decision though.
Yes, Ali Coco doing the job there, getting in between, so Cashmore couldn't pass.
Big defence from Jason Spice. But Auckland starting to create opportunities now. Tanu'u's gone, and Steve Devine. Well, he's done a good job tonight. Afisa Tanu'u.
Well, they have been chopping and changing with Devine and Tanu'u during the year. Neither one apparently cementing his position.
Wellington struggling to win this. They do, though. Now Spice to Holwell. Broughton. Coco. Been no gaps in that Auckland midfield.
No, the defence has been strong in that area. I think one Steinmetz break through the middle, and that's about it, really.
Got some blood here too.
It was that man again, Craig Innes. He really does form a formidable combination with your Ronnie Clark. Wellington guilty, though, of attacking just a little bit too deep away from the tackle line, but certainly Innes nailed him in the end.
Wait for the call. Keep it high. Let's close first. Half the pace. Come up through, please.
So Wellington scrum midfield with their back split both sides and a move on. Thank you.
Now we're down. Reset. Come on here, fellas.
So here it is again.
Wait for the
So
call.
I'm picking the short side, which is there's no short side, I'm picking the left side.
Tear away for Holwell. Holwell's made a few gaps tonight. Snapped up by female marker Doug Howlett. Big chance for Auckland. Second try, Charles Rickelman.
Well, he just seems to be in the right place at the right time so often, Charles Rickelman. Well, that hammered it home for Auckland. Started with a Holwell break, but this is where the key was. Auckland got there early and got the turnover. And How came infield. Just look at this, the way he set infield to his support. Bumped off the tackle of Steinmetz, held by the cover, and there's Rickelman.
Well, they're a champion side, aren't they, this Auckland side, absorbing the pressure, firing it back. The only question mark was the delay of the pass here, but that move deserved a try, and Charlie Rickelman scored it.
Terrific following up by the big fellas, and it was Charles Rickelman, who's had a rather injury-plagued career, good enough to be an All Black in 1997, and Michael Jones really is in the wars, but he'll want to see it out to the end, which is about 12 or 13 minutes away.
Good play by Doug Howlett, though, in that try. He hit it infield to keep away from his touchline. So often wingers get space on the outside and burn down the touchline, and somehow the defence often can scramble the offence into touch. But this man hit it infield to open it up even more. And there was Rickelman coming up Fat Man's alley.
Not this time, Adrian Cashmore, but a most decisive try scored by Charles Rickelman. 2 tries to 0 now, and Auckland out to this very healthy lead.
You're quite right, Murray. He came in field nicely, didn't he? And there it is, the end result. Auckland looking very good.
Holwell's kick out. It's controlled by Waller. Off to Edwards. Straight up defence from Auckland.
So Wellington in an interesting position here. The goal kick could be on, but I fancy really that they'll put the ball into touch and go for a line out. Take about 20 metres would be handy from the kick. Put them inside the 22.
So a launching pad for Wellington with just 11 minutes left.
Well, one thing about this Wellington team, they've finished strongly. In the last 3 or 4 matches, the second half has been when they've climaxed.
Afiaki. Yates takes an extra couple of metres for Wellington. Now Spice to Holwell. Broughton. Holwell. Holwell is there. That caps a magnificent night for the little first five.
Well, he's deserved it. He's played so well. But he spotted the gap there. Once again, the defence drifted off him just for a second. That's the Captain Hurricane salute.
He's done a lot more running tonight than normal. And despite the attention to Mia Lamu, Holwell is over.
Well, this will be a superb angle to watch it from. Well, he sold the dummy and went through the hole, so he created it, stepped his fullback. Well, points to Holwell.
Well, it was the inside defence, wasn't it? The inside defence needed to pick up Holwell, but didn't he do it well?
He scored all the Wellington points tonight, 13 of them, and suddenly it's all on again.
Well, that's right. It's the and will we see the ebb and flow of psychic energy here, Greg Cuba?
I'll leave that one to you, Murray.
Well, I think this should lift the spirits of Wellington for sure. So they'll probably be a little bit inch livelier.
IEE goes long again down to Holwell. Decides to take off himself as Tia was well covered. Coco, struggling to hang on to it. He just did. Spice for Holwell. Caleb Ralph, who scored the first try of the game. Out into centre field for Cashmore. Clever little kick, but Savialiki's done well to get back. Now this is a knock-on by Wellington.
Well, that was good defence by Auckland. Wellington using their men to drive forward and hitting a resolute off the defensive line. Steve Devine on the field for about 5 minutes. Auckland scrum drilled into the deck.
We can't see there, but Jason Spice has got a nasty lump on the side of his face from that whack from the boot. It's on the other side of the cheek. Battling on, trying to do the best for his team.
That's a better Auckland scrum. Wellington, of course, turning it, probably opening it up.
IEE, again the little kick. Coco. Well, he would have been a lot better off to have left it.
Yes, really, he was on a hiding to nothing trying to play that ball that 1 metre from the line. All the players were running onto it. He could have done nothing there anyway. He really should have let it go in and taken the line-out throw to Wellington.
7 minutes remaining in the final. Ball controlled eventually by Auckland. Devine, IEE's the trademark drop kick, but this time well away to the right.
Well, it was a good idea, though. Auckland needing, obviously, another 3 points. So Afiaki looks like he's taking a gap for a bit of air.
What a season he's had. Well, he's nailed a couple of these in recent weeks, and he hits them so sweetly, but this time well astray.
Look at that, eh? He's only run twice. Extraordinary.
Yes, but when he runs, he does it at the right time. Inoki Apiaki here, what happens here? This is where he goes down. Something happened in there.
Grab the head immediately.
Yes, who would know?
Is a man who could well have been at the World Cup if he'd chosen to go with Tonga again, as he did in 1995. Decided to stay and play in the MPC. And
try his hand really for higher honours, because he's a man of great potential, Inoki Apiaki. He's an athlete, and a very big athlete too, 6'6". Quick runner, and his ambitions are very clear. He wants to make New Zealand A this coming season.
Yes, I think he damaged it on the leg of Michael Jones there as he went in to make that solid tackle.
Yeah, well, some players, when they go down, you think, well, they're down for the count. And others do it on a regular basis, it seems.
A nice touch there too by Michael Jones, so typical of the bloke. He went over to check to see if Apiaki was okay. As a great career counts down, only 7 minutes remaining.
Now that was better taking of the ball by Auckland from that kickoff.
Here's Innes. Got through the tackle of Seymour. In fact, he got through 2 or 3 tackles.
Yes, that was tremendous drive, wasn't it?
Now Devine off to IEE. The little kick has been so dangerous, and again Coco makes a mistake. Steinmetz got absolutely flattened by Caleb Ralph.
He's a tough rooster though, Paul Steinmetz. But he was taken out. Have a look at this on replay. Whoa.
Okay, number 11. Yeah, call him in, mate. 11. Don't add it in the game, it was high and late, okay? Let's give it out there and see if the rest, okay?
To be fair to Caleb Ralph, he was pretty much committed. He couldn't have stopped.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I think that it was very close to being man and ball at the same time, and I guess he decided to take Steinmetz, and if Steinmetz had taken the ball, it would have been all over, but Steinmetz actually speculated at the ball instead.
Time very much running out for Wellington. They need to score twice. Apiaki peels back. Well recovered. Spice to Holwell. Here's O'Halloran. Here's the typical Jason O'Halloran. 10 out from the 22. There it is again for Spice. Holwell shifts wide. Quick hands for Steinmetz. Looking on the inside as big Paul Thompson gets across. They're having to make a lot of tackles. Holwell again. Tia. Away again for O'Halloran. Saviali'i. Holwell inside the 22. Excellent continuity here from Wellington. They'll get it again and away they go. Tia to Coco. Ghosting his way through, Ali Coco. They're 15 metres out from the line here, and they go again with Steinmetz. Yates. Saviali'i tries to straighten. Goal line is only 5 metres away. Quickly taken by Spice. Broughton. Goes in low and hard. Spice looking for the runners.
Well, Wellington didn't really want the penalty the first one, that's for sure. That's why they tap and ran, but I think they have to take this 3 points. It's a pity because they were on a roll. Some may call that a professional foul, I don't know.
Well, I don't think they can take the 3 points. They need to score a try very quickly.
They're going to give it a go. Spice up to Afiaki. In low goes Yates. Now Spice again. Tear, smashing over. Tear.
Well, there's been few men in New Zealand rugby that could stop this guy when he's on the roll, and he proved it yet again. He was actually held in the tackle, but that sheer strength and power drove through it. He's been a mighty man in NPC rugby this year. Now have a little look at this. The tackle, two of them, shrugged them free and ploughed over, literally.
Not many get away from a Ronnie Clark, but Philo Tiatia did. It was Cashmore first, and look at this. Look at the leg drive, the power. Tiatia over.
Yes, and a lot of people may have thought Wellington was spent, but they certainly not.
Kick is wide from Holwell. 24-18. And just look at the power of this man, who must be right up there when it comes to NPC Player of the Year.
And I bet he'll take this ball from the kickoff. If Wellington secure the ball from the kickoff, it'll be Holwell to Tiatia on the crash. Let's have a look.
Couple of minutes left. Here he is, Tiatia. Rush waited for him. Wellington having to start again with Yates. Now Spice to Holwell. O'Halloran. And pushing it out. Rather hoping to keep it in, I think, Jason O'Halloran.
Yes, tremendous defence, Auckland. Bottled up Tiatia and then slipped off him onto Yates. Wellington going backwards, couldn't get that drive forward that they were looking at, forward momentum. So it was good D now Auckland to throw. So this is a very important throw. And nailed beautifully and sucked in.
There it is for Devine, i.e. to Innes. They really get into Craig Innes.
So where's the ball? There it is, turnover to Wellington.
Kelvin Dika right there. And a knock on by Wellington.
That was the turnover they were looking for, and they obviously knocked it on. Counting down now. Wellington needing a converted try. Auckland scrum. So what will they do?
What about a drop kick from IE?
Yes, I think that's probably on the cards.
He's lined out to the left, so not just yet. They'll be happy to screw these scrums for a while.
Yes. That's one thing about Auckland sides over the years. They've been very good in decision making. When it's time to slow it down, when it's time to wrap it up, they do it well.
Well, it's come out rather unexpectedly. So Rush takes it back in.
Well, he had to have held it, that's right. And Afiaki called for it. Asked the referee, very politely too, it appeared.
So there's possibly time to kick it out and start from the line out. And Wellington has one last shot at it.
So perhaps it's Wellington from the top and moving it wide. I don't think they'll be wanting to risk the drive and perhaps having the ball killed.
Been a terrific final. Overthrown by Hewitt, but they might just get it back. Yates controls it just. Now Spice to Holwell. Coco in midfield. Still in Wellington territory by 5 metres. Delivered again. And they've lost it forwards. Game is over. Auckland have won the championship. Michael Jones's great career is over. And the crowning glory is the 1999 Air New Zealand First Division title.
Well, you can tell how he's held with great esteem in Auckland. Every player almost to a man showing their affection for this great man, Michael Jones. Fitting finale for him on his beloved Eden Park to go out with the trophy, with the title. And congratulations to Auckland and their coaching staff. A great victory against a worthy opponent, a very worthy opponent.
Triumph and despair. They gave it their best shot. They caused Auckland all sorts of problems. But in the end, Auckland got home by 24-18. And what a turnaround for Auckland. And what a marvellous way for Michael Jones to finish his career. Let's go down, and Matthew Cooper is with Norm Hewitt.
Normie, big disappointment after a great challenge tonight.
Yeah, it was, but you know, Auckland have been on form all year, and you know, they deserved the win in the end. We made mistakes, we gave away penalties, and they kicked them. It was a good battle, very good battle.
Grand finals all about opportunities. You had a couple in the first half. Maybe that may have been the winning or the losing. Yeah,
definitely. You know, we couldn't finish off 2 or 3 movements, but in the end, mate, we're very, very happy to have been in this position, especially the way we started the season against Auckland, and you know, 6 or 7 points in it. It's a final. It's what it's all about.
Pride's right back there in the Wellington Lions.
Yeah, most definitely, mate. It's good.
Have a good summer, Normie.
Thanks, Matty. Cheers.
Paul Thompson, congratulations, an emotional moment for you. How does it feel at the moment?
Oh, it's just, I mean, because it wasn't a very, very good performance, but it was about winning today. But hey, we'll take the win. It was gutsy, you know, a bit scrappy, but it was hard up front, and we'll take the win. That's what to say.
I spoke to you last week, Paul, about Michael Jones and his last game coming up. You've really sent them off on a great note, haven't you?
Yeah, when he didn't come back at half-time, we were a bit worried he wouldn't finish the game, but he's got ticker, he came back on, and just awesome.
Tell me about the Wellington performance tonight. They did take it to you.
Yeah, you know, they hooked into us at this thing. They disrupted a lot of second phase balls, so we couldn't really get a rhythm going. But the guys, guys like Scotty Palmer has improved immensely this year, and he's sort of a unsung hero of the side. You know, he scrummed well today and showed a lot of ticker. And guys like Jace Chalmers that came on and made an impact was fantastic.
I mentioned it looked like the Auckland of old, under pressure but responding, and we know about the Auckland sides, particularly the side of the 80s, always responded to the pressure. Again, when you're under the pressure tonight, you came back. Yeah,
I mean, we never panicked. You know, we got a lot of leadership within the side. You know, we got 8, 10 guys that could captain the team, and you don't have that more often. And so, you know, it's just so easy to lead a side where guys sort of chip in. Michael, you know, talks, Charlie talks, Rushy talks, everyone, you know, chips in, Craig Guinness and that. Just fantastic, and it's a huge learning curve for all of us.
What does Paul Thompson do now at the end of the rugby season?
Well, we'll celebrate this. Then we'll hopefully get into a bit of golf, I think.
Well done, congratulations, Paul.
Cheers, Coop.
Winners and losers, that's what it's all about in finals rugby. And tonight the winners were Auckland. The scoreboard tells the story, and they take out the first division at Eden Park by 24 points to 18.
As I mentioned before, we've seen an absorbing final here at Eden Park, and there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. And tonight, the Auckland A team showed that they are true champions. They're under a lot of pressure from a very good Wellington side, but from day one, they started the season particularly well, and they finished it off on a particularly high note. So I'd like to welcome to the stage the winning captain of the Auckland A team, Paul Thompson.
Thank you very much. Firstly, to Wellington, you came up and you showed you improved a heck of a lot. You took it to us, and really in that first 15, 20 minutes, you really had it over us. To our sponsors, Rico, better get this right, Canterbury New Zealand, DB, Sovereign and Sky City, thank you very much. Without your support, we wouldn't be anything. Start of the year, we had a few goals. We wanted to get a bit of respect back from Auckland public, the New Zealand public, and the New Zealand rugby players. And although we haven't done that fully yet, I think we're taking a step in the right direction. To my boys, thank you very much. You've made my job so easy. A winning captain's the easiest job in the world, so thank you very much. To all the families, all the guys' families and stuff, thank you very much for your support. Without you, we wouldn't be anything. Thank you. Don't know what else to say, really, but special thanks to all the Auckland public who came out to support us. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to say, last couple of things. All our thoughts go out to the boys in black. May they bring our cup back home. And as Norm said, hope everyone has a safe and very happy Christmas and New Year's. Thank you very much. We'll just go through our names again quite quickly. Number 2, Paul Mitchell. Number 3, Scott Palmer. Number 4, Leo Lafaili. Number 5, Charles Rickelman. Number 7, Mark Carter. Number 8, Xavier Rush. Number 9, Ofisa Tonu. Number 10, the new star, Rooney Ai. Number 12, the old boy, Craig Innes. Number 13, the older boy, Ronnie Clark. Number 14, Dougie Howlett. Number 15, Adrian Cashmore. Number 16, Eliasa Tanamura. Did I get you, Cuz? Number 11, Caleb Ralph. Number 17, Aiden Vince. Number 18, Finau Maka. Number 20, Jason Chandler. Number 21, Mana Otai. And number 22, Kevin Mialamu. And Steve Devine. You want on the list, bro? Head coach Wayne Pivac. Coach Grant Fox. Manager Derek Sampson. Trainer Jim Blair. Dr. Senior Graham Patterson. And Dr. Junior Chris Hanna. Physiotherapist Paul Wilson. Masseuse John Dalton. And a special one to our water boy and the bag boy, Mr. Dwayne O'Boy. There you go, Dwayne. Excellent. And the last one, Sir Michael, well, that's what I call him, the Iceman, Michael Jones. Thank you very much. Awesome. You're very much. Thank you. Very, very good crowd. Thank you very much.
Well, obviously there's one last thing to do, and that is to present the Air New Zealand NPC First Division Trophy. And Jim McRae from Air New Zealand is going to present that now to the winning captain, Paul Thompson of Auckland.